Now, please welcome him. He's a pit bull of comedy. He was the, I don't know. To me, he's the North Star of comedy. Love my Bobby. Here's Bobby Slayton, everybody.
All right. I want to make sure my mic is working. I always have a problem with these shows. My mic is okay?
It is working, sir.
All right,
Yeah, I love it.
First of all, I'm glad you guys are excited about having me on. I wish I was excited about being on, as you are about having me on. I've been sitting here for 15 minutes. I'm supposed to be on at 12:05, listening to your show. It's amazing to me. You've been on for a year. Why this lasted this long is beyond my comprehension. But, it's funny how our book ended by, the Middle East talk and the news and all the horrible things going on in this world. And then after me, you have a woman who wrote a book about happiness. So I'm kind of like, by the way, I've been thinking about this because, I come on your show and give you crap. Hi, Kim, by the way. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
But, with so many horrible things going on in the world, with Ukraine and now the Middle East and the Dodgers are losing and on and on and on and on, I thought it'd be really nice just to come on and say something nice about you and your show for a change. And I thought about that, but I couldn't think of anything. So, but I thought about it. Couldn't come up with a thing. You see, but you know what I always liked about you, Thompson, and I bring this up all the time for people that don't know your history. Actually, before I go on, I just got off the phone with our mutual friend, Maestro Dick Bright, who sent to say hello.
Oh, he's the greatest, and that book is so good.
Did you read his book, Taking Care of Business? It's great.
It is great. And I'm not even in the music business, but it was so cool to learn to learn about it a little bit.
Well, if you are in the music business, I wouldn't talk about it if I had something to plug. If nothing to plug, there's no reason for me to be here. But I wanted to tell you, going back because I've known you for so many years. After listening to the news and seeing all the horrible things that go on in the world now, I remember when you were the weatherman. What was the local station you were on? Fox, local Fox network?
In Los Angeles, Fox 11, yeah.
Yeah, and it sucks that people mix that up with the Nazi right-wing national Fox. The local Fox News,
yeah.
And, I still watch it, local news, national news. But even back then, before global warming and before, there was always problems in the world. And I would watch the news every night right before bed. And I said, why am I doing this? Because it just gets me upset, And then you would come on and lighten things up. When you would do the weather, it's almost like when you're watching The Godfather and they bring in Fredo to see what he's up to. It's almost like this comic relief. You were like the Fredo of the news. And
wow.
All of a sudden, Fredo was on with the weather front. Let's see what he's up to. No, it was always very pleasant to watch you on the news. It was very calming. All right, anyway.
Well, so when I was in the Bay Area doing that, you were the MC at the Punchline. I mean, this is a jillion years ago, but that was I think it's one of the greatest rooms in comedy, the Punchline. Back then it was. I don't know what it's like now.
I haven't heard from them in years, but I'm kind of retired from stand-up. And I went to Vegas a couple of weeks ago because every once in a while, every couple of years, I'll get a corporate gig. Not for a lot of money, but you got to sort of dabble in stand-up. You can't just take a year or two off. Okay, I'm going to do a 45-minute corporate gig in front of all these people. So, every 3 or 4 months, I'll do a show either at Flappers in Burbank or I went to Vegas. And you know what? I stay up for weeks on end. I can't sleep at night worried that I'm just going to totally lose it. I go back to those days when I was the MC at the Punchline and didn't know what I was doing. And not only that, but if you remember, Bill Graham had that great rock club next door, the old Waldorf. So I would open up for rock bands. Kevin Pollak and Dana Carvey would do it, but they'd open up for the easier bands, Pablo Cruz or the Beach Boys. I think Robin Williams was already on to doing Mork and Mindy. And so they wanted a hard-hitting guy. And sometimes it went okay, but sometimes it was a nightmare. And then I'd have to go next door and open up for Jay Leno or Lane Boozler or even Seinfeld, who was my age, was already a headliner by then. So anyway, it brings back these memories, of bombing on stage because it wasn't fun.
That's so funny
anyway,
because I never associate you with bombing. It's just so
every
weird.
Comic
Every
bombs.
comic has had it. Right.
It depends what you call bombing. But there were times, and deservedly so, I wasn't really a great comic. But over the years, you get a little cocky. And I've heard a lot of great comics, big comics. Somebody said, I just saw this guy or that guy in Vegas, and he sucked, and people hated him. So we all have those times and those moments where things are not going great. And at least if you're in a band, you can, you have your fellow bandmates to look to, or you can play loud enough where you don't hear the hecklers. But when you're standing up there by yourself, you're up there by yourself. You really, Anyway, so like I
Yeah,
said,
I
I
mean,
don't do stand up
it's
anymore.
what is so. I think it's what's so special about comedy. It's pretty much usually, anyway, a solo thing, and you have to make adjustments based on the way the audience is reacting, and you have to size things up in the moment while performing. It's not like an actor or even a musician. I think it's a fascinating art form, and
I think
you
what
know,
might be even more scary is being an actor and maybe being on Broadway and worrying that if you bomb or you forget if you forget a line or a cue, you're screwing up a lot of people. I think that could be even a bigger nightmare. I had an opportunity to read for it, and I think it did pretty well. And then COVID hit. I don't know if it's still playing, but they wanted me to come in and read for Tootsie. They made the movie, the
oh
Dustin Hoffman,
wow,
Bill Murray movie, into
sure.
a Broadway play. And I thought, I don't want to do this. And I had friends go, you don't want to be on Broadway? No. Not only do I not want to do matinees, work 6 days a week doing 10 shows, but I'm not an actor. And I'm scared to death of doing something like that. That's even more frightening than opening up for some of the punk rock bands that I opened up for.
I hear you. I mean, the good news is that you can always trust that you can say something, whereas if you're wedded to lines, that could be the anxiety of not remembering the lines or whatever. But you actually, you're kind of self-deprecating when you say I'm not an actor and everything. You've actually acted quite well in a couple of Woody Allen projects. I thought you
Yeah.
were really good. I'm not just saying that. Like they weren't just throwaway parts, Bobby. You had long scenes.
No, they weren't. They were short scenes. But, keep in mind, look, I know you have Kim giving you back.
The diner scene that you did with
that was one of the hardest. Yeah, it was.
That was a long scene.
Yeah. That was that was the biggest thing I ever did. It was 7 pages of memorizing. First of all, I don't know if it's my ADD or my drug use when I was younger, or the fact that I'm just not as smart as I think I am, or whatever it is. It's hard for me to remember stuff. And our mutual friend Kevin Pollak told me on Mrs. Matza, when he does that show, that's written by playwrights and they want every word exactly. I was very lucky to have every little scene I've done for some major directors. Woody let me ad lib, Barry Levinson, Amy Heckerling. I was never in the constraints of having to memorize every line, every word, and get it exactly right. But that one time I worked for Woody, I had 2 months to work on that scene, and it was 7 or 8 lines of dialogue. It was called Crisis in 6 Scenes. If nobody's seen it, Woody got a deal from Amazon at the time, about 7, 8 years ago, to do a TV show, and he realized he didn't want to do it, but he already signed the contract and took the money. So he kind of wrote a movie and broke it down into 7 20-minute scenes. And, Elaine May came out of retirement. It didn't get great reviews. I thought it had its moments. It was Woody being Woody. And Louis Black was funny. Judy Gold was in it.
Right.
There was a couple but he gave me this one long scene. And that was the hardest thing I've had to do in my life. And I couldn't wait to get it over with. And even when I act,
you were so natural, though.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah. Oh, I just thought you were so natural. I mean, even your physical movements, the way you said stuff, it's really hard. I thought you did a really nice job with it.
I worked with 2 top acting coaches in Los Angeles, and both of them said, in their own inimitable way, they both said to me, "This is a really hard scene for a real actor. I'm not sure how you're going to do this." So that was great that I had such encouragement from 2 major acting teachers. But you know what? Like I said, I had 2 months to work on it. I'm just playing me. It was just very difficult, and I don't want to do it again. See, you also work by yourself. I mean, I know you worked with Kim, but you're in a room by yourself. With you, and don't take this as an insult. You can if you want. I'd be very, enamored with that. But you're by yourself, and I don't think your imaginary viewers or listeners really give a rat's ass if you screw up or not, because nobody's really paying attention to what you're doing. So you're really lucky.
There's a compliment in there somewhere. Oh no,
yeah,
I guess there's not.
Find. I don't know where it is, but it's there. You just have to look for it.
Right. Well, it's been a tough year, but you have been on before with us. In fact, I remember rallied some shot with us. Bobby was, I want to say this is a few months ago, from some hotel. There was a billiard table.
Oh, but you remind me, out in Palm Desert, my girlfriend has a store, Dominique Cohen. She's got a jewelry store and a clothing store, and it was just a really cool store. You should come out sometime. And my guitars that I make are in there.
Let me just, in my last few minutes with Bobby, I just want to touch on the guitars, just because I think people are going to ultimately hear more about this. you do these. It's art, is what you're doing. You take a guitar and do what? It's like a theme that you develop artistically around this guitar, and then you place all.
Yeah,
these,
you know what? I don't. I look. They take months to make, months, and like a mental patient, I can't sleep anyway. I wake up in the middle of the night and I start gluing stuff on and working on them. Well, you saw them at my girlfriend's house, and she's got them in a store for a lot of money. Yeah, they're kind of cool. I mean, it keeps me busy because I'm not doing stand up anymore. I don't want to act, and working on the guitars gives me a break from eating meatballs and drinking. You know, I'd be drinking nonstop if I didn't take a break to. By the way, I feel bad. I know we shouldn't talk about this on the air, but you were out of town last week, 2 weeks ago. We went to Rayo's.
Oh, yeah.
My friend Kevin Pollak called up, and I was going to call you. But you know what? I know you're a vegan, and we go for Sunday gravy. They have these big pots. They deliver to it's magnificent. The meatballs, the braciole, the sausage. And I know you always say you can find something else to eat, but it's just so weird taking a vegan to Rayo's for Sunday gravy night. It's almost like taking a gay guy to like the Bunny Ranch. Hey, listen, while I'm with the girls, why don't you sit and have a candy bar in the lounge and just wait for us? Great analogy.
I understand.
I just thought of that.
I get it. There he is with the guitar. Wow.
Oh, look at that.
I don't know who hustled that. Was that Albert or Kim?
I made that for Sherry O'Terry. That's one of my earlier ones. The pictures don't really do it justice. That's one of the really early ones. And I told her, I said, I've gotten a lot better at these. If you want to give it back to me, and I will add to it.
It's really cool.
No, she loves it the way it is. She lives in what was once W.C. Fields' house. So I thought a good one for her would be a history of movies from the 1940s based on comics and comedians like Eddie Cantor and Jimmy Durante and Martha Ray. And there were a lot of comedians and comics that did these 1930s, 40s, and 50s movies that were musicals. And she loves it. But they keep getting better and better and better. And when I made that for her, I didn't realize I was going to be making more. So, and then my neighbor.
It's really terrific. And you gave her that, or she bought that?
Oh, you make one for Sherry. You can't make one for me. So I made her one. Her and her husband love wine. Have a tremendous wine collection. So they did a wine one, which is But now they're just getting better and more complicated. And
you gave that to her, Bobby, or did she buy it from you?
I gave it to her. You're not getting one though.
No, I know. I was getting.
Unless if I gave you one, it would be a lot of meat. It would be meat.
How dare you?
And you put them. You don't have to eat meat, but you could have a guitar full of meat. That's actually a great idea.
Yeah, is it a big celebration?
Chickens, cows, and poultry, and all kinds of meat dishes.
Oh my God,
that'd be a great guitar.
What an ugly way to wrap up. I love. I
wouldn't have it any other way. I would have it no other way. Now you can talk about the woman with the happiness and everything will be all straightened out. You can cleanse your palate of Bobby Slayton with the lovely lady talking about her trip to Oz and.
You have a lot of friends, I noticed, Sherry O'Terry among them, from different areas of comedy and acting and show business. How do you know Sherry O'Terry?
How do I know her? I met her at Kevin Pollak's house. And I said to her, we talked about food. And for some reason, Rayo's came up. I said, we should go to Rayo's. And we did. And that's what happened. And we became friends from going to Rayo's.
Look at you. Rayo's is a major meeting place. She was...
Well, you know what? It's the last time I'm going back there. It's too far. Look, I live 5 minutes from Ventura Boulevard. You know as well as I do. Just to get me to meet you at the bottom of the hills, a pain in the ass.
I know.
Slayton
will not leave. Slayton, it's just so hard. It's like landing planes, just trying to get Bobby to, land on a date and land on a plan. And it's crazy.
It's a pain in the ass to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I if somebody doesn't make a right turn on a red light, I want them to die. I want Hamas to take them out. You're not making it right there. And my girlfriend always say to me, well, there's no hurry. She goes, you're not in any hurry. I go, it doesn't matter. You have to make a right turn on a red light. If you're doing 55 miles an hour, you got to get the hell out of the left lane. And then people get mad when there's road rage, and they always blame the shooter. You ever think that maybe somebody is driving 55 in the carpool lane and they won't move? They need to die. That's why I don't want to feel that way, and I don't want to put that negative energy out there, so I don't leave my house. You understand?
Oh, it's really great. Well,
now you got
Kim,
me all riled up. I got to have a drink, and it's only.
Do you have any thoughts for Bobby?
First of all, you make fun of him for being hard to nail down for a date. So I messaged him last night, and he says, "Hey, Kim, whatever you need. Happy to do whatever you need. I just want to say maybe it might be you in this situation.
It is me.
I had no problem with Bobby Slayton.
I think you're right.
He also messaged me, now he's going to go pick out his outfit. And I just want to say that the outfit was a gray tank top. That's what you settled on?
That was
the big outfit picking out last night.
You know what? But here's the great thing about doing this, not doing it live. I just don't like picking out clothes. So right now I'm not wearing any pants.
Oh
my God!
I did that for you, Kim.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look, you want to see?
No, we don't.
No.
Bobby Slayton, everybody. Bobby, we love you.
Happy anniversary, you guys. I doubt you'll make it to 2 years, but next year if you make another year. I'll do the show again a year from today. All right?
I look forward to it. Thanks,
You're
Bobby.
Awesome.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.